Hey guys, that clicking in the background is recording a time lapse of the moon. Here it is, check this out.
Hello everybody. This is the first and last video I'm going to be doing on the flat earth. Firstly, I respect your views totally, and your right to investigate. That's what science is all about. I am all for people discussing absolutely anything. I'll even go further and say that by investigating and not taking literally what others say, you guys, the flat earthers, are actually real scientists. You really are. However, I don't agree with what you say. And I'm going to simply talk about the planets. Flat earthers have already covered all the arguments about Earth, so I'm going to increase a new one. Forget the Earth. Look at space. Simply, nothing is flat in astronomy. Simply look at the planets. You can actually use long focus on your telescope or high-resolution images to show that planets appear round. Why this is, we will explain. And then we're going to go into some other details of the moon, possibly lost civilizations. With your telescope, increase the focus length compared to aperture, and your view gets longer and narrower, letting less light in. Snapshots on a camera taken with this sort of lens get slower. This allows you to increase the resolution, as you're not being bombarded with light being bounced off in all random directions. This has the effect of turning a planet from a flat, bright disk into something three-dimensional. When something is at short focus, it must be in exact focus to see clearly, and even then, you won't see it as clearly as a long focus, which is in exact focus. With long focus, you don't really need to focus much at all, and everything appears to be in focus. Set your camera to f11 or f15, and the foreground is in focus, as well as the background. Alternately, use a telephoto mixed with a short focus, like f5, to get really snappy pictures with a blurred background. Try it with a camera. Look at shots of f2, f5, f10. Now the same thing happens with planets. And it seems the best views of planets, if you don't want a giant telescope, are with long focus scopes, Cassegrain's Maxitovs, which are f12, or very ancient long refractors, which they don't really build anymore. With my own telescope, which is an f5 short focus, planets appear as flat disks with a kind of blurry detail. Increase the length of focus you see and you see a round planet with more details. Totally round. The other way of increasing detail is to increase aperture, which increases resolution, but that's another story. The same thing happens during a total lunar eclipse, such as one which just occurred. For some reason, it has the effect of increasing focus length, but this is not what happens. Instead, the dim red moon, totally eclipsed, allows the iris to actually expand, reducing focal length, but dramatically and almost paradoxically increasing resolution, simply because it's like switching from a tiny phone camera lens or a pinhole lens to an SLR. So even though the moon is dimmer, we can see more of it, and this is when it suddenly adopts a round appearance rather than a flat white disk in the sky. And many people periodically remark that when the moon is eclipsed, it does appear to be a round red blob. During total lunar eclipses, the 2 or 3 I have witnessed, I stayed up half the night with the telescope with a nice big, perfectly round moon in the scope. It was absolutely incredible, just like looking at a close-up version of Mars. Fine details like crater rims and mountains can't really be seen due to the reduced photon level. Instead, you see other weird details that you never see when the moon is white. And this is the second thing that this video is about. For example, I noticed that the moon is actually a sort of crystal polyhedron with many segmented corners, between 20 large ones with 100 small ones all around its edge. The edges of the moon are therefore not round, but jagged. It's polygonal, three-dimensional, polygonal. I also saw what appeared to be a road network of sorts, which was bizarre. Straight roads shooting across the surface of the moon, whatever they are, possibly natural or some evidence of the lost super civilization's space endeavors. But this civilization certainly existed not less than 70,000 years ago, explaining why everything we dig up seems to be Stone Age. In addition, the dark lava areas are all polygonal, as the continents on Earth, as demonstrated on a recent video based on the crystal structure of quartz, make it thus. There are no flat planets in space. They don't exist. Nature doesn't make them. Anyway, I don't really want to get into the flat Earth argument, but having made this video just for information's sake, and I won't be making another video on the subject. I hope you've enjoyed that, and cheers. Bye-bye.